Hey guys, Scarlett here, the creator of Wonder Curl, and welcome back to another video where we help you to build a healthy hair care regimen. So today we're going to talk about how to maintain a healthy scalp. You think it's easy, but sometimes it's hard. So stay tuned and I'm going to share you my tips on how to have a healthy scalp and also how I was able to overcome my seborrheic dermatitis. Wonder Curl products use natural ingredients that are known to nourish and hydrate your hair. Your hair gets better elasticity to maximize length retention. Visit wondercurl.com and use coupon code YT10 for 10% off your next order. It is no secret that healthy hair comes from a healthy scalp, and a healthy scalp needs a healthy body. So definitely the first thing you want to make sure is that you are eating a proper diet. If you find that you have a dermatitis on your scalp, if you have excessive dandruff, not like product related, but something like much more insidious. If you are suffering from any kind of hair loss, bald spots, that can all tie back to the diet that you're eating. These are all different forms of inflammation. If you feel like you have little bumps in your scalp, that is your body's way of telling you something is wrong. So first, if you feel like you have these symptoms and you are concerned about it, make sure to go to your doctor and have them run the necessary blood tests that you need to make sure it isn't something medical, or you might have a vitamin or mineral deficiency, which can also be the cause of it. Like for example, I sometimes suffer from a dry scalp, dry skin, and when that happens, I know that I need to be taking my vitamin D supplements because I have a vitamin D deficiency. So make sure don't run out and get vitamin D. Make sure you go to your doctor first and make sure that you need anything and you are giving your body everything that it needs. So that is the number one thing that you want to make sure that you're doing to have a healthy scalp. The second thing you want to do is, of course, clean your scalp. You are removing any product buildup, any toxins, any gook, anything that is in your scalp. You want to make sure that you are removing it all so that you can start fresh. If you're using a lot of oils and butters, especially directly on your scalp, you might be clogging the hair follicles so that your scalp cannot create the sebum on its own. So I had this conversation with someone on my TikTok where she said that she had a severely dry scalp. And I was like, well, if your scalp is dry, I bet you your skin is dry. And she's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, all right, so make sure it isn't a deficiency. And then after that, just make sure that you are cleansing your scalp and let your scalp, your skin, it knows what it needs. It knows what to do. So allow your scalp to breathe. Which leads me to the other thing you should be doing, which is if you have your hair up a lot, whether it's for work, where you work in a job where you have to keep your hair up, or if you just like having your hair out of your face. I know I put my hair up in buns sometimes, I take it down, but what I have found is that when my scalp starts to get really itchy, and I know my scalp isn't dirty, that means my hair needs to come down because I have to allow my scalp to breathe. So when your scalp is starting to feel itchy and you're someone who keeps your hair up all the time, take your hair down. If you can't take it down at work, as soon as you get home, take it down. Massage your scalp. Let your scalp breathe. So I've talked about this before, not on YouTube, but out to people on my Instagram lives, and also on my TikTok. And also make sure you're following me on TikTok. It's at WonderCurlCEO, where you can ask direct questions and I will answer them in a video form. So yes, I suffered and continue to suffer from seborrheic dermatitis. If you're not familiar with seborrheic dermatitis, It is I say it is a form of inflammation of your scalp. Something else could be if you have eczema. It's also a kind of dermatitis. So with seborrheic dermatitis, it tends to be more in like sores or scabs. It is an accumulation of sebum and dandruff and just a lot of stuff going on in your scalp. And some people can get it all the way down. Some people can get it into their eyebrows. Those are severe forms of it. And I suffered from seborrheic dermatitis for almost 20 years. It started in my 20s. It started as like little bumps, little soreness, didn't know what was going on, ignored it. And then it got to the point where my scalp was full of scabs. It hurt. It hurt. It felt like someone was punching me in my head. It hurt so bad. And luckily, I didn't suffer from any hair loss, but sometimes you can. So make sure if you can get it looked at by a dermatologist and they can diagnose it for you. So what the dermatologist is going to do, they're going to tell you that one, there's no treatment for it, and two, they're going to prescribe a special shampoo. That shampoo is just going to treat the problem. You have to figure out what's going on. Again, I say it's an internal issue. So for me, I was a vegetarian since 2008, and I wasn't always the healthiest vegetarian. I won't lie. The other thing is I started learning more about gluten. And if you don't know, gluten is actually one of the top contributors of inflammation in our body. Gluten is like your wheat, your rye, your barley. Sometimes there's cross-contamination. So if you eat a lot of popcorns, if you eat oatmeal, it's usually processed in the same type of facility. So I just have a gluten sensitivity. And I learned this because at the same time as my seborrheic dermatitis was getting worse and worse, I was suffering from migraines and fatigue. And again, it was collectively getting worse and worse every year. So I took the gluten out of my diet. And guess what? The seborrheic dermatitis was a lot less. It wasn't as severe. I still had it, but I didn't have the scabs. I didn't have the pus. Yeah, sorry. But it still had a lot of soreness in my scalp. But then in 2017, I went completely vegan. So I gave up eggs and I gave up dairy, because those were my only last two holdouts. Because y'all know dairy, especially cheese, is hard to give up. But those were my last two holdouts and I gave it up. And guess what? The seborrheic dermatitis went away. No more scalp issues, no more soreness, no more bumps, no more scabs. Hallelujah. I felt free until the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, when we had our first lockdown. Again, there was stress. We were all stressed out. We didn't know what was going on. We were all stuck in our homes. And guess what? My scalp started to get sore. I started to feel little bumps in my scalp. Stress. Stress was another contributor to my seborrheic dermatitis. So you have to think about it. Diet, stress. Those are the two biggest reasons why we have a lot of problems with our scalp and with our hair. So if you want to have a healthy scalp, you have to, one, make sure you have a healthy body. You have to make sure you are taking away pro-inflammatory foods such as gluten and such as dairy, which I know is hard because one, they taste good and they're in everything, but take that out of your diet and include a lot of fruits, vegetables, a lot of leafy greens. Those things are anti-inflammatory. Those are cooling to the body. Those are healing for the body. So you want to avoid processed food and eat a lot more whole foods. And then, of course, you want to make sure if you feel like your scalp is starting to feel bad again, and you're already eliminated all these things, you're living a healthier lifestyle, that's your body's way of telling you something is wrong. I'm stressed out. So then, you know what? Do something that gets you out of your headspace. Meditate, garden, read, do a prayer, whatever it is that gets you into a place of peace and quiet, that's what you want to do. So I hope this video helped you guys with your scalp. And if you do feel that you have certain issues or you're concerned, please make sure you see your doctor, see a scalp specialist like a trichologist, see your dermatologist. Do not avoid it. Do not try to find products that's just going to treat the symptoms, because most likely there is something happening inside. That's why you're having scalp problems. All right, if you like this video, like and subscribe. And again, if you have questions for me and you want me to answer them right away, head on over to my TikTok at WonderCurlCEO. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.